Previously on Untitled 10 Free to Play, I shared an elixir farming army that you might actually enjoy. Today it's time to prioritize the defensive upgrade order. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Joe, and welcome back for episode 12 of the Town Hall 10 Free-to-Play series. This is that series where we took a max Town Hall 6 and we played through Town Hall 7, Town Hall 8, Town Hall 9, and we are currently now at Town Hall 10. Now, if you have any questions about the previous Town Hall levels, go back and check out the previous playlist. I might answer your question back there. We are currently 3 weeks into Town Hall 10, and you will notice that we now have a new base. If you've been following the series, we have this new defensive base, or Dark Elixir Saver base, or a Trap base. That's what it was labeled as. I will link it down in the description below, but it has not been attacked yet, so I'm not entirely sure how well it stands up to other attackers. But again, I don't really stress out about the global bases because you get attacked by Town Hall 10s, Town Hall 11s, Town Hall 12s. There really isn't a better way to defend yourself and lose loot. You're going to lose loot no matter what. But today we're going to talk about how we are going to prioritize these defensive upgrades. This defensive priority list is based on the concept that you have all 5 builders and you have been following this series, meaning that you've completed all of your offensive upgrades so far. So if you've been following this series for the last 3 weeks, we have been able to complete all of our offensive buildings, to include the laboratory, all 4 of the barracks, all 4 of the army camps, as well as the last 2 dark barracks. We've finished the spell factory. We only have 1 offensive building to finish, and that is the dark spell factory. We still have 1 level to go there to unlock the bat spells, and that will be happening in the upcoming weeks. We will also be focusing on our heroes. We've kind of slowed down on the hero upgrade priority because of the possibility of a future update in the upcoming weeks. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but we do know that there's going to be a cost reduction on both the heroes and the wall. So we've kind of slowed them down just a little bit, but do expect that I'm going to be using 2 of my builders in order to upgrade heroes as I do obtain the dark elixir to do so. Now, as you notice, we got our defenses separated in 2 different locations. We have 1 strip here with the cannons, archer towers, wizard towers, as well as the inferno towers. And then in the other group, we have the air defenses, mortars, hidden Teslas, expos, bomb towers, and the air sweepers. One major note about prioritizing the defenses and any upgrade on this base, it does not really matter what order that you follow. If you follow my order or somebody else's order, more than likely everything's going to take about the same exact time to upgrade. It's just really based on how often you play and how often you're able to obtain gold to upgrade these items. So you'll notice that I have builders currently going right now. These are the newer items that came on the base when we upgraded from Town Hall 9 to Town Hall 10. So we're going to work first by upgrading our cannon, our archer tower, the new expo, and the bomb tower to equal what is currently on the base. This is basically my OCD stepping in and saying I want all of my defenses to look about the same or be the equal level that's currently there before I start tackling a specific defense. Now, this first group with the cannons and archer towers, wizard towers, and inferno towers, these all equally go up 2 different levels. So right now we currently have a cannon level 11. These will be going up to level 13. And then the same thing applies to the archer tower. The wizard tower goes from level 7 up to level 9. And the inferno tower goes from level 1 up to level 3. So I'm going to be starting with the cannons and the archer towers first because they go faster than the rest of the defenses. I believe they take about 2 days to upgrade. And we're going to be taking those up to the next level as soon as possible. And really, when it comes to the cannons and the archer towers, I'm really targeting the queen charges and trying to slow those down. Now, haven't really see a lot of those in global, but in clan war, they are more of a predominant strategy that you want to try to stop or halt or stop the ability for lower level queens being able to queen charge on a Town Hall 10 base. Now, if it's a level 40 queen, obviously you're not going to be able to stop much of it. Now, when it comes to the wizard towers, we're going to be upgrading this because the premier armies for Town Hall 10 are the miners and the hog riders and balloons, and we want to be able to slow those troops down or those groups of troops down with the splash damage defense. The same thing also applies to the inferno tower. So again, all these defenses go up 2 levels. We're going to take them up 2 levels, and then we're going to move into this group of defenses over here, which equally all go up 1 level, meaning that the air defense, the mortar, as well as the hidden Tesla go up to level 8, and then the expos go up to level 4, as well as the bomb tower. I had to think about that for a second. The bomb tower also also goes to level 4, and the same thing applies to your air sweepers, which go up to level 6. No matter what direction you go with these defenses, it's going to take about the same time to upgrade all of these. It just depends on how often you raid, and keep the gold coming into the base and going into the defenses. But don't forget your heroes. Don't forget them, because they are incredibly important. Alright, so enough about the defensive upgrade order. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. We shouldn't have to beat a dead horse on that one when it comes to prioritizing defenses. Now, one thing I did not mention in that little segment about upgrading things is that 2 builders are going to always be working on heroes until they are maxed out. The same thing also applies to the walls. Now, if I have a builder available, I'm going to be upgrading walls in that same process. And the reason behind that is that even though the walls take a little bit longer, they are going to be catching a slight reduction of cost, and so they're going to be dropping down to $1 million a piece. So I will be using one builder in that priority, kind of speed up the process and get rid of the walls, or upgrade the walls, not get rid of them. I want to get rid of these walls right here, but that's really my idea about it. So even though I gave you a list on what I'm going to prioritize for defenses, it does not mean that I'm going to mainly focus on defenses and nothing else, because defenses go incredibly fast in this game, and we have to save this queen because I'm talking too much. All right, so we saved the queen against the queen on queen onslaught, and you're going to notice that we are using miners now, so we do have our level 3 miners. But again, back on the defenses, don't focus just on defenses, because the defenses go incredibly fast in this game, and before you know it, if you focus on solely defenses and nothing else, those defenses will actually be finished, and you'll have all 5 builders sitting there doing nothing, and you'll be waiting on Dark Elixir and resources to do walls, just like we had to deal with at Town Hall 9. So we don't want to make the same mistake that we made at Town Hall 9 by finishing defenses early and not working on heroes. We want to get the heroes done. That way, when the defenses are done, we should be ready to move up to Town Hall 11. That's really my intent there. All right, so we got miners. They're caught in this. This is the maxed out Town Hall 10, as a matter of fact. And you're going to notice that this wizard tower is over here putting a hurting on our miners, and we're not being able to steal all of the loot. That's what I get for talking too much, right? But this is a really good army regardless. We were able to steal a bulk of the gold off of this base, but we're going to walk away and not be able to obtain all of the elixirs. So I think there's a few drills down here, and we're going to be doing a few more raids for the remaining portion of this video. That way you can get a good idea on what the miners can do, and hopefully I can really focus in on getting a little bit better of a funnel going on here, a better queen walk, because she stayed on the outside at the beginning of the raid. I think that's good for now. We're going to lose those miners. So let's go ahead and walk away with this 731,000 gold. Not too bad, but also 7,200 Dark Elixir. Okay, so while I wait on my Archer Queen, which she has a few seconds, we do have Clan Castle troops. We're going to go back out and do a little bit of farming. Now, again, now we're using level 3 miners. So if you've been watching this series, you notice that I've used multiple strategies since the very beginning, from going to Town Hall 9 to Town Hall 10. That means that there's multiple strategies that you can use. There is no right or wrong answer. So there's a question that popped up in a previous video that I want to read to you guys that's really kind of concerning, because it says, all we want to know is what's the best army for farming if you're a new in Town Hall 10. That's it. We're getting confused because you've said before Goblin Knife last video, miners, and now you're upgrading the Barch in the lab. It is Barchers as the farming troops. Okay, so is it Barch? Please answer me. What is the best farming troops for early Town Hall 10? And I have lots of books and hammers, and I need a concrete answer. So this player believes that there is only one strategy that is the best farming army in the game at Town Hall 10 for new players. That is a false statement, and if you believe that, then you've been listening to the wrong sources altogether. Now, there are great options. The goblins are phenomenal. The miners are phenomenal. The balloons are outstanding. Barch is great for stealing golden elixir. There are multiple armies. You just pick one that you actually enjoy or that you're really good at, meaning you can use barbarians and archers to steal dead loot from the mines and elixir pumps. If you like miners, miners are great for clearing entire bases, except for the previous raid because I did a bad funnel. And then the same thing applies to your balloons. And then if you're using goblins, you can use goblins in the sense to target dead bases, steal loot from the mines and the pumps, as well as going inside and stealing loot from the dark elixir storages. Now, obviously, this base is supposed to defend against such things. However, there is more than one army. So all of the armies that I've shown you in the previous episodes, from episode 1 all the way to the current episode, they are outstanding armies. Every single one of them. It's just a matter of whether you know how to use them and apply them. And I'm going to step down on that. There is no such thing as one army being the only best in the game, because that is simply not true. And enough of that. Let's go out and see if we can find ourselves a new base. Hopefully that answers your question. Pick an army that you enjoy. I enjoy the miners because miners are great for stealing massive amounts of dark elixir. Another reason why I like it is because I like to clear the entire base and steal all the players' loot. Now, in this situation here, this is not a dead base, but he has a lot of loot that we want to steal. So we're going to definitely do our best to do a little bit of funneling here and get inside this base and take it down. And we do have to worry about single target Inferno towers. So let's do this. Let's start out with a, let's go with a Queen Walk here. And let's do a baby dragon over here. Let's drop our wall wrecker. So we're going to bring a wall wrecker this time around and bring some bowlers to the core of the base. Now I'm going to bring miners on the flank and flank across the base here. So let's bring our miners in right here, and we're going to need to pay attention to that wall wrecker as it gets inside the base. Now the queen, I didn't necessarily need to do a queen walk there, but we do have to deal with this single target Inferno tower. So let's go ahead and freeze that, use the bowlers, drop a rage spell, get them deeper into the base. We have to keep an eye on our miners. And also, speaking of miners, we've had a lot of questions and a lot of players saying that they don't know how to read the miners. They don't know how to follow along with the direction that they're traveling. If you pay attention to the graphics as they move underground, there's a little dirt trail that follows behind them that shows the direction that they are moving, guys. So if you really pay attention to your miners, you will notice the direction that they travel because of that little dirt trail that goes behind them. I didn't really think that I had to explain that too much because I thought that was kind of obvious. But then again, a lot of players just don't know these things, and we try to clear up some of these questions by answering them in the best possible manner. And that way you guys get a better understanding on how the troops work and how to apply them. And I have another spectator. I always have a spectator. I can never get away with just playing the game without being watched other than being watched on YouTube. It's crazy. All right, so Queen was able to get on the backside of the base. Looks like our bowlers did die, but they did do their job by helping take down the Inferno towers. And you'll notice that the miners were able to be successful, but we had a little bit of assistance from a wall wrecker. Would have been better to bring a siege barracks, because the siege barracks generate some hog riders or something out of them, as well as the additional wizards for clearing. But we will obtain the 3-star on this base. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to wait until the end because we're strapped for time as usual, right? So yeah, we're 99%. We'll just let the miners grab that final camp and we're going to get a 3-star. But this is the army that I'm going to use, and I will continue to work on upgrading them. But I am upgrading the barbarians and archers right now because they do play a role with the ability from the barbarian king and the queen. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and finish up this video on this final base. And this base has an absolutely massive amount of loot. So let's see if we could try to take this thing down. Let's see what we got here. So we did bring a siege barracks this time around instead of a wall wrecker. So let's do this. Let's bring the queen on this side and let's do some funneling. And when it comes to the use of the miners, you want to do funneling, and you need to make sure that you clear out both sides of the base, or at least try to, especially if you don't have your king or your queen. You're going to have to figure out better ways to do this. But we're going to also bring a baby dragon into this range right here to try to help out and set a set funnel for the miners. Let's go ahead and use a rage spell on the queen up here. And we're going to try to save a rage spell for the miners as they move through the base. So the queen's working into the range of the enemy queen. It's going to be enemy queen versus queen. Level 28 versus level 21, and she's going to be able to take that down very nicely. Let's go ahead and bring some miners in, since we got wizards and hog riders moving through the base now, and we're going to need to keep our hogs alive as well. We got max level hogs that came from the siege barracks, so this works out really well, and the queen is continuing her walk. Now, we are losing healers from the air defense over there, but let's go ahead and drop a rage spell in this location, and let's freeze this expo as well as that Inferno tower and give our hogs some time. Now, they are being chased by the barbarian king, and the king actually got taken out by the miners. So this is where that miner hog hybrid situation happening here. They work really, really well together. This is a very formidable clan war army right now. A lot of players are totally digging the miners and the hogs right now currently in the game as the date of this video. Things might always change due to meta and balancing in this game. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of these wall breakers. Didn't necessarily need them in this raid, but I normally bring wall breakers just in case if I need to take the queen inside for a specific reason. In this situation, we didn't necessarily need to do so. But this is an amazing army when it comes to farming. So if you want a really good army that I'm using, then upgrade your miners and upgrade your queen and upgrade your wall breakers and upgrade your baby dragons and healers and all the other good stuff. But this is just an outstanding way to finish out the video. That was a massive pull on that one, over 900,000 gold right there. I love it. So hopefully you were able to get something out of this video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and if you need any additional video support, click one of those links over there. We will see you in the next one, guys. Take care.